What are women praised for that later becomes a trap in leadership?
This lady was the go-to person, okay, for everybody, not just within her team,
Yeah.
everybody across different teams, okay, and she will listen to everyone at the cost of her time.
Okay. So there's no fodder. There's no stimulus.
Yes.
Hmm.
There are a lot of things that you wanted to say but you didn't say, and so you normalized being like that.
I
That's
call
what
it
is.
leakage. Some people call it boundaries. But yeah, you don't want to leak your energy.
Yeah, and so and she said, do you feel the world is on your shoulders? This is also very popular in our households. I think it's a strategic exploitation. You make someone feel excellent about being quiet, not calling it out, and suck the juice out of her.
And we are going to unveil everything today. Let's discover you. Welcome to the show, Madhumita.
Thank you for having me here, Shailja.
No, it's an honor for us. And I know the conversation today is going to be very different. I have a feeling.
Looking forward.
Yes. And we both share the same space, which is more about transformation, inner work, personal mastery. And I think that's the common space which attracted us to get you on the show as a guest.
Sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So we will deep dive along with you. But before that, I have 3 questions, 3 keys, which allows you to enter the unstoppable world. Are you ready?
I think so. Yes, go ahead.
Okay, let's go for it.
Yeah.
What are the 3 qualities that define the woman you are today?
So I think the most important one has been resilience for me. I have been in situations where, it would call for, I don't know how I found that power within myself. So resilience is one. Secondly, I don't plan too much, right? Although, the conventional thought process is you should plan, and so you can avoid the possible pitfalls. But I have just jumped into it. I have just listened to my heart, and so I don't plan too much. And the third one would be my curiosity. And so I have always wanted to get into the depths of something. So if something, fascinated me, I wouldn't just leave it at the surface level. I would do everything in my power to go down to its depth. So I think these are the 3 things.
And these are very nice, great qualities. And this is for your first unstoppable key. That's not first, that's the second, but this is the first one.
Okay.
I'm going to hand over. Keep it here for you.
All right.
Yeah?
Thank you.
Your second question to qualify. What are the 3 truths life taught you the hard way?
Nothing is forever. Don't take anything for granted. That's the hardest one. And it came to me at a time when I thought I have arrived in life. And so I have everything. That was around 15 years ago. And then, things happened. And then I touched my rock bottom. And then I realized, okay, fine. So it was there. It's not there anymore. So let's rebuild.
Okay.
Yeah, so that's one. You asked for 3 or 1?
That's the second one. And this is your second key.
Okay, thank you.
Third, when life gets uncertain or heavy, what are the 3 things that keep you unstoppable?
The 3 things that keep me unstoppable. Okay. As I said, the driving qualities in me is my curiosity, right? And so if... So there is this thing that I believe in. When I get into something, I always have an exit plan, right? So I know that things don't work out. What do I do then? Right? So what is the worst that can happen to me? I know it sounds very pessimistic, but if I know that, okay, so this is what has not gone right and I need to exit from here, there are certain things that I would need to compromise on. There are certain things that I should be willing to give up on.
Mm-hmm.
It'll be difficult, but yes, there is an exit route. So that's one. And there are times when there are no exit routes. You just land into them without any sirens or any warnings. Then I just fight it out. I rough it out.
Okay.
Yeah. So yeah, I don't run away.
Thank you so much. And this is your third key. And clearly, a lot of inner work, personal mastery work has been done. And we are going to unveil everything today. Let's discover you fully.
Sure.
Yeah. So we'll start with where I possibly love to start with all of my guests is take me down in your memory lane to your childhood.
Okay.
How was Madhumita? What is she like? Just some glimpses.
Yeah. So, so I feel that I haven't gone too far away from that child that was within me when I was growing up. There were some fears which still exist, but I know how to fight them now, which I didn't know at that time. They never made me feel like I was a girl child, and so some things need to be cut short because I was a girl child.
So you had siblings?
I have a brother.
Okay,
Younger to me, but he still complains about being discriminated against.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So so I grew up like this pampered daughter in the house, and so I'm a Bengali by birth. So my parents, for Bengalis, girl child is very precious. Yes. So I had that privilege, but outside of my house, it was not so safe.
Okay.
Right? And so
what made it unsafe for you?
So I grew up in a place where there was, so Jamshedpur then was in Bihar. Okay. And later on it got separated into JharKhand and Bihar. And so there were a lot of eve teasing.
Sure.
Right. And so it was not safe to go out in the evenings. Like people will follow you. Right? People will pass comments and things like that. Even in school, and so because the place was so unsafe, I was not encouraged to have a lot of friends.
Okay.
So I didn't have a lot of close friends. Like in schools, you will have friends who you will crack jokes with. They will just, do things which are not so, encouraged or appreciated by teachers. Sure. But I wasn't like that. I was a very, very studious girl. It was my mission in life to be first in my class in terms of my grades. And so.
But did you fill that gap with something else? The friends vacuum which got created?
I didn't realize at that time that I didn't know what was friendship at that time, right? Because I didn't have that.
Sure.
It's later on when I look back, I realized that, those were the times probably
But you filled it up with studies and
studies. Yeah, academic. Studies was the only thing I had to myself. My family, my brother, vacations that used to go for. So that was my life. But I grew up as a very, very closed person.
Okay.
Right? And so when you grow up as a closed person, there are a lot of pent-up feelings. There are a lot of things that you wanted to say, but you didn't say. And so you normalized being like that. And so when you grow up, I was not able to open up to anybody for the longest time in my life.
Okay. But was there any way catharsis was happening? Like if you were not opening up with people, but were you opening up spoken word, written word, hobbies?
So I always immersed myself into something. Like when I was studying, I immersed myself into studies. When I started working, I immersed myself into work. So that had its own advantages at that time because I got my promotions. Every year I had a promotion to my credit. Everything was happening. But when I met other people, I realized that, there was a lot that they can share, that there's a lot that they can speak about, and I felt very left out. I felt not included because obviously I couldn't share.
Even if you wanted to?
I didn't know what to share. That's the strangest thing, right? Okay. I didn't know what to share.
Okay.
I knew there was a lot, but I didn't know what. How much can I tell? How much can I talk about? So it's a very difficult, state of mind to really explain. When I even think about that, I still journal about it, what really happened during those times. But it's difficult to put it in words.
Before we go to your coaching journey, we'll go to the time you were in Mumbai, perhaps, right? Yeah. So I had a question. Who was Madhumita in Mumbai?
These are questions I have never thought about, but yes, I'm going to think about it now.
You taught me well.
Thank you for that. Yeah, so in Mumbai, I was someone who didn't want to give up on the challenges that was thrown at her.
Why was it important?
I didn't like anybody saying, Madhumita can't do this.
Just when you were in Mumbai or even before that?
So I think this transition started happening when I came to Mumbai, because and there is a reason behind that also.
Okay.
I moved into this organization and I had a new boss,
Hmm.
right? And this boss was not willing to give up on me,
Okay.
right? And so he always kept telling me that, you are not seeing yourself, you are underestimating yourself, you are underplaying yourself. And he would give me more than I can chew,
Hmm.
or that's what I thought at that point in time. But I didn't want him or anybody else to think that Madhumita can't do this.
Okay.
And so I kept pushing myself. And then I reached probably where I was meant to. Many people told me that you are being hard on yourself. And I didn't know what was being hard on myself meant at that time. I said, you got to do this or you don't do this.
So you went all the way in.
Yeah.
Right? In your corporate life is what I hear. And
Yes.
it led to something for you to then completely build a new identity and leave this behind. And we'll get to that point. But let's say you were in corporate for X number of years. Did it has already built the part in you who's sitting here with me. But what is the part which you appreciate and the part which you feel never happened, shouldn't have happened?
So I don't think something has not happened. What I think is something really big happened when I was in Mumbai.
Okay.
And that is what I'm carrying with me right now. It gave me the confidence that I can do it.
Okay.
Right? Because until and unless I pushed myself, I didn't know what I was capable of doing. And I always say this, you must have heard this in my coaching classes, that change, transformation never happens staying in a comfort zone.
Yes.
And so that was the phase in my life that pushed me out of my comfort zone. And, because I took it head on, I could do things, I could achieve things that I never thought I could otherwise.
So you were testing waters, you were testing yourself, you were growing in that process, but it went a little further, which you didn't
Yeah.
appreciate.
So I wasn't testing myself. I knew this is something that I have to do it.
Okay.
Yeah. So the idea was not to test. The idea is that I have to do it. I got this. I will do it. And so, and I don't know how that happened. So, when I have realized in life after that when you decide on doing something,
Your brain obviously
and
mapping it.
And things start falling in place.
in place.
It just happens.
Yeah.
It's not a piece of cake, but it does.
Realizing that in the first 5 to 7 years of your career is a big deal. Or this is also reflecting back as a coach now.
I think the reason I grew a little slower than the others, or not the others, but a little slower than I could have, is simply because I was a very closed person.
Sure.
I wouldn't allow myself to test things. I was scared and I was phobic of probably 1,000, 2,000 things in my head. Everything people spoke to me about, I said, I'm scared of doing that. Public speaking, I could not imagine.
At that time. So let's say there's a girl sitting right now in a small town. I come from a small town. I'm from Shimla, Himachal Pradesh.
Okay, my
I've
favorite
been out
place.
for 30 years, but those are my roots.
Mm-hmm.
So I can sense what you're saying when, growing up in Jamshedpur and, okay, similar story, very shy. Didn't have spoken or written word as much as I have it now. So, but if you were to tell somebody sitting right now and watching this and coming of age from a small town, move to a big city like a Mumbai and Delhi, what will you tell them?
Talk to me.
And?
There is more to you than you know yourself.
Okay.
See, being a coach, I find it very difficult to tell people to do things. Right? What I do is, I believe, and I have realized, so, growing up also, I had this in me. I couldn't take people telling me a lot of things.
So you had to figure it out yourself.
Yeah, I was never a person who would just read books or listen to somebody and grow.
Interesting.
I would experience things myself.
But why? What made you go through the experience and not take someone else's knowledge and then start from that point?
I could not trust anybody to that level, basically. I do listen to people. It'll be wrong to say that I don't listen to anyone. I do listen to people who have a very strong credibility in my eyes, right? But very few people like that. Right.
Is it fair to say that, once you are in your own world and you're processing things and not leaning on the world to get processed, you were already listening to your inner voice or, sharpening that intel or intuition or whatever you call it.
Yeah.
Because when you're saying, that's exactly what happens when you don't talk too much for very long, and then you realize that something is governing you.
Yeah.
And you start listening to that. And that confidence comes from there, perhaps, right? What you're saying, that I didn't want to take knowledge, but live through the experience.
Yeah. Yeah, maybe what you're saying is right. And when people tell you that do A, B, C, right? And this is and that is one reason why coaching resonated with me so much. I know you said you'll talk about coaching later, but that is a part of me that was really
waiting.
Waiting to really emerge.
So I think we've had this chat, and I'm also jumping the queue and talking about coaching now, because coaching I loved. Why was because of this. Nobody has asked us all our life, what do you want?
Yeah.
Right? Like whether it's home as parents, what they do to us, or school, college education does to us, or when we join jobs, we are being told, Madhumita.
Yeah.
When coaching opened that switch and said, hey, that thinking brain, if it is empowered enough and I can walk the talk and then work on it and take action, it's in my control.
Yeah.
And that is something very interesting. But your self-coaching has started in Mumbai is what I'm trying to get to with this point, right? So when you're saying that I was listening more and I was connected internally, what were the inner work you were doing? What was the self-talk you were doing if you were not talking to others?
A lot of it is because of so this is something that I had since childhood, right? I could, I maybe to some extent I was also a little judgy. I wouldn't deny that.
Okay.
But also I think a large part of it was my ability to sense the intent of another person.
Okay.
So as I said, in my childhood, my parents were very encouraging. They provided me with all the opportunities. They didn't ask me to do anything. As you said, there are a lot of expectations and they ask you to do something or tell you to do things. So my parents really were very different. They didn't tell me to do anything, but I could sense that expectation that they had from me.
Okay.
I don't know if that is true or not.
Okay.
Right? But I could sense that expectation, and I therefore felt compelled to obligated to fulfill those expectations. When I stepped out of my house and I met so many people, like my bosses, my colleagues, right, well-wishers, right, they would just, moment I would ask them or just tell them that this is what is happening with me, they'll tell me, you know what, Madhumita, you need to do 1, 2, 3 things. And that's where I'll stop sharing again.
Ready solutions would be given.
Yes.
Without understanding the context.
Yes. And
nobody had the time to go to the depth of it.
Right. Yes. Absolutely. Yeah. And so they will tell me, and then that's where I'll shut down. So silent expectations and telling, both of, these things really shut me off completely. I wouldn't share anymore. I'm closed again. Right. So then I learned, this was my coping mechanism to avoid all that, to really stop sharing anymore.
So there's no fodder. There's no stimulus.
Yes.
What can really happen?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, absolutely. You put that beautifully. No fodder.
Yeah.
Right. And so then it was all me. And then I would be, if there is a challenge that I'm facing, and then there'll be a lot of thinking, sometimes leading to overthinking, ruminating, all those things happened, right? Anxiety, right? A lot of anxiety because, I haven't figured this out yet, what to do. Rarely would I go and ask somebody, what is the best way to deal with this?
It was all upon you.
Yeah. And so I felt the world is on my shoulders. I have to carry it. If I don't do this, everything is going to
Collapse.
collapse. Yeah, that's what's going to happen. And that was the phase that that taught me a lot also, right? Yes, I thought I could take a lot of responsibilities. I thought I could find the solution, but the kind of physical impact it had on me,
Yeah.
that was huge. I developed a lot of chronic ailments because of that, right? And so but I figured out a way to come out of that, which gradually came. It didn't happen overnight. It was my journey to go through.
So this is all Mumbai.
This is all Mumbai.
Okay.
Yeah.
So what was your anchor? What was your inner work in Mumbai?
Yeah. So in Mumbai, when I was going through all this, and I developed this thing called cervical spondylosis. Okay. And so I went for alternative therapy.
Therapies.
And then because I had done allopathy and it didn't agree with my
Sure.
body, right? So, and I didn't know that I didn't know what was alternative therapy,
Okay.
right? And so when I went there, they asked me, do you think a lot? Right? So I said, yes. Do you wake up with cold sweats? I said, yes, I do. And so, and she said, do you feel the world is on your shoulders? And it was an analogy that I had never thought of in my life. And I thought about it and I said, I really feel like that. So she said, you need to lighten that load a little bit. Okay. And that's where I started thinking, and I started, that line of thought started that whatever I do, my body and mind is the same.
Connected.
Yeah.
They are not disconnected.
They are not disconnected. Right? And then I went into spirituality. I went into spirituality very early in life.
Sure.
I would like to think it was early. So I was, I think, 25 years old.
Okay.
And so I started with my meditative practices. And I think my true journey began from there.
Okay.
So I think there are few things that happened with me very, very strong and which helped me sail further into this journey. Firstly, I started getting this values clarity.
Okay.
Right? What is it that I really want to stand up for?
Tell me, when you're talking about awareness, right? And obviously you cleansing your system, you're meditating, your awareness would sharpen. But there's also intellectual work here, because you have to create those boundaries as well, consciously. So were you doing that consciously, or you just saw that happening, that, okay, now my life is getting more, in tune to what I really want?
I always struggled with creating boundaries, okay? And I realized that now I can, or maybe it just happens with me. I don't do anything drastic, or I won't tell somebody off to create that boundary. But I genuinely lose interest.
Okay.
Right? So say for example, if there is someone I am not connecting with a lot, right? And they are making an attempt to probably stay in touch with me or send messages, I wouldn't respond. I wouldn't it's not because I want to keep them at bay.
It just won't happen.
Yeah,
it just won't happen.
I have just,
Yeah. So the energies are obviously more aligned to than your purpose.
Yes.
So there's no leakage.
Yes, absolutely.
I call it leakage. Some people call it boundaries. But yeah, you don't want to leak your energy.
Yeah.
Because now you're aware of it.
Yes.
So great. So this happened in Mumbai. After figuring out that you are not this limited identity, there is a spiritual aspect to you. Were you thriving or just functioning in Mumbai after that? Because this happened while you were still in corporate.
Yeah. You said, was I thriving or?
Functioning.
Or functioning.
Did it help you to function better, or it helped you thrive?
Okay, depends on how you define thriving and functioning,
for
actually.
You.
So for me, functional could be a lot of mechanics, right? So I am doing what I need to do, but within I am still feeling stuck. So it didn't go overnight, I'll be honest.
Sure.
Right? Because It's not like I started spirituality and the
Your
next,
anxiety stopped.
it's gone. It didn't happen. It
Okay.
didn't work like that for me, at least.
No, slight shift. Anything shifted?
I was more aware of myself.
Okay. So you
That
knew
awareness.
that my body is reacting or responding,
Yes.
and this is called anxiety.
Yes.
This is the weight on my shoulders. So you
Yes.
started becoming aware of.
Yes.
You weren't aware earlier.
No, I wasn't.
Beautiful.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So that awareness, they say, is the first step, right? I mean, once you're aware of what's happening with you,
You'll do something.
75% of your battle is already won.
Yeah. Yeah.
So that's what really happened with me.
So what did it make you feel? Like, okay, I'm carrying this. This is the reason why I'm getting all of this reaction physiologically, mentally, emotionally. Was that the reason then to move to Goa?
Partly yes, and a large part of it is a no.
Okay.
Right? Yeah, I was exhausted. I wanted a break, right? I hadn't stopped working. I was working since I was maybe 18 or 19. And then, here I was already 30 plus and I was still working.
Okay.
No breaks, right? And we also, I was married by then and we wanted to start a family. My husband wanted to go back to his
Sure.
family business. And so I thought that'll be a good break for me. And then I'll figure out what to do in Goa when I move there. Something I should be able to do is what I thought.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah.
What changed inside you after the move? Because you had a very strong identity and you were holding that identity.
Yeah.
The reason you were getting the anxiety
Yeah.
and the pressure.
Yeah.
Then you went to Goa, identity wasn't there.
Not there.
Then what happened?
So moving to Goa was like the biggest, hit for me. Goa is a beautiful place. I have a lovely family, but that's not what that's not what meant or defined everything for me. There was a huge identity crisis, as you said. Huge means huge. Like I was as if I didn't know swimming and somebody has put me in deep waters and then I am just, just
because you were holding
trying
on to
to-
this, right?
Yes.
Badly.
Yes.
And now that's gone.
yeah.
And you're in a new city
Yeah.
without that
Yeah.
identity.
Yes.
So exactly. I mean, then what happened to your anxiety? What happened to what you were feeling there, holding all of that? Now it's
Yeah.
not there.
Yeah.
Were you still anxious?
I was, because when I landed there, all my spiritual practices stopped. Right? And then I had a child then within 1 year. And so postpartum, all those things that came into my life. And I didn't know what I was doing. I started questioning myself. How can this happen to me? I had a thriving career in Mumbai, and now I am back to this small town again, right? I started from a small town, I'm back to a small town, and there are no opportunities there. There were no corporates. I couldn't find a job anywhere there. And, child was very small, sleepless nights. And
Okay, so before we go there,
Yeah.
and because this platform, or this forum is also a lot about women and women leadership, what all they have to go through because of the personal life and obligations and responsibilities, and it does impact careers. You went through not one but two shifts together. One was shifting from corporate life to now what, and shifting from a big city to a different city, and then also having another human being who's part of your equation now. So there's a huge lot of stuff to manage, Madhumita. We don't want to rush. Just stay there and tell us what was that journey like for you?
it was very tough, very, very tough. I won't underplay it. Yeah, it was very tough. Internally, I really didn't know how to deal with it. I had no mechanisms, I had no tools, no frameworks. Neither did I know anybody who knew how to deal with this. I couldn't reach out to anybody because I had still not started opening up, I couldn't tell anybody how much I was from within, feeling stifled. So there were, again, physiological, impact of being there.
Yeah.
Now thinking back, I think I had gone into some sort of depression, which I don't know was true or not because I didn't consult anybody. I didn't know what was happening to me.
Sure.
right?
So should at this point we tell something to the audience, because I'm sure somebody will watch this, and everybody will resonate at a degree, but that degree can become what you are saying, right? It can go to that extent that if you're not taking help enough, if you're not talking about it, not sharing the load, a lot can go wrong and it can really go south.
Yeah.
So what some message you want to give from a coaching perspective perhaps right now to the audience?
It's even talking about this actually brings
Brings
me,
back the
so
yeah.
I did have friends,
Hmm.
right, who I could talk to, but I underplayed what was really going on within me. I had I had a very close friend and she would always reach out. She did everything, but I didn't do enough for myself, is what I feel.
So if you had to tell one thing to your younger self, which is, let's say, whatever, 10 years now,
15,
15 years,
14, 15 years.
what
Yeah.
would you tell her, Madhumita, at that time?
Just reach out.
Okay.
Reach out, open up, shed that load little bit.
Hmm.
I think reaching out was the biggest thing, and so now if I meet somebody,
Hmm.
I always, even if I'm talking to them for the first time and I sense that there is something going on with them, before hanging up, I tell them one thing, that if you need to reach out and there is nobody, I'm here. If I don't answer your call immediately, just leave a message, I'll call you back.
And that's coming from a very genuine space, of
From a
course.
very, very genuine space.
Have you come across maybe your coaches, your clients who are in a
Yes.
similar space like this?
Yes, yes.
And does then coaching and helping people sort of heal that part in you?
I feel I am healed. I am holding on to the memories because memories never go and they
Sure.
shouldn't go.
Yeah, sure. They're
Right?
learnings.
Yeah.
Of course.
But I think I am healed, through the practices that I then started doing for myself. So I feel much, at ease with myself, and that's the reason I'm able to talk about it. I'll tell you a small example of when I was, pregnant and I went to a doctor. It's a male doctor. He was the best at that time in that place. And so and I was always very, very, I would ask a lot of questions because I wanted to know what's happening with my body.
Sure.
And then, but that's not, that somewhere beats the conventional way of, being the woman she's supposed to know how to be pregnant. She's supposed to know what it feels like. She's supposed to know how to hold a child. I didn't know any of this.
Yeah.
Right. And so when I used to go to the doctor, I used to ask a lot of questions.
Yeah.
He one time said something and it kind of shocked me, He said that she thinks she's the first mother. I mean, you won't say things like that to somebody, right? I mean, I wouldn't say.
Yeah.
And
now it is. And it is easy to just find one and just talk.
yeah.
And it's a very lonely world we are entering into now, right? You were lonely for your personal reasons.
Yeah.
You didn't talk enough, but
Yeah.
people who want to talk don't have people around. So there is a huge gap which I think coaching is bridging, and we will get to that. Where your passion is and your profession is now. We were at a point where spirituality was helping you. You really wanted to do something. You were stuck in this entire thing of this is not it. It can't be limited to just this transitioning and becoming a mother. Great, but then next what? Then you become an entrepreneur. And how did that happen?
Yeah, so that was an interesting journey. So when I told you that I got into academic writing,
Yes.
and then I said it's just not happening
Yeah.
because it's too much of, to write one dissertation, to write one, project for a student, you have to study the entire damn subject, and it's just too much time it was taking. And so I said, nothing doing, let me do something else. And then I started, this idea dawned. And so there were not enough. So I realized that there were not enough, stores for buying
Online
handcrafted online stores to buy handcrafted items. And there,
So I'm curious to understand you say that I take impromptu decisions. I don't like to plan. I don't like to be told what to do. But when you did this CheerKart, was it more for profit, or it had a purpose for you?
It had a purpose. It definitely had a purpose.
Which is?
Which is to reach out to the tribal folks, and because I love art and craft.
Okay.
I saw the art and craft in your changing room.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So, and I wanted to really curate it with a purpose. Eventually, it turned out into a business because I had to sustain. And that's when I was not liking it anymore.
So the purpose, when it became profit,
Yes,
making a center, that
Yes.
sort of put you off.
yes.
So your coaching question back to you, what does it tell you about yourself?
Yeah, but no regrets. It taught me a lot. I learned. I put my hands into something, e-commerce, e-retail. At that time, I was the first one in Goa to start that. Right. So it taught me also that the positive thing is I'm quite courageous like that.
Yeah.
I lost some money in that, but it's okay. You don't always have to spend money going to an university to learn something. You can also invest money on
Beautiful.
trying out new things.
Very nice.
Yeah,
Very nicely
yeah.
put.
Yeah.
Right? So nothing goes waste,
Nothing is
essentially. The
wasted,
way you
yeah.
look at it, from what
Nothing's-
gaze and angle you look at it, nothing is actually a waste.
Yeah.
Okay, CheerKart.
CheerKart. Yeah.
Name is very interesting. But then you moved on and you said, this is another identity you were dropping.
Yes.
You were dropping because it was not really feeding back into your system. You
Yeah.
wanted more semblance, pausing, and I think your spiritual journey would have obviously evolved by then. When did you plan to get into coaching? Was there a gap in between? When did coaching arrive in your life?
I attended this workshop. It was a 99 rupees workshop. And I think after my graduation and everything, this is the first time I spent on really learning something from somebody.
Okay.
It was a 99 rupees thing. And so...
and you remember the 99?
99 rupees I remember. And then so this is the first time somebody said something like this to me.
Okay.
Right? Investment on yourself is the biggest investment. And he made us go through an exercise where it was like, like those little assessments that we do.
Sure.
So it had a thing, how much do you invest on yourself in a year? Okay. And the only investment that came to my mind was salon investment, right? Which was minimal.
Yeah.
Right? I am not a very big salon person,
Sure.
but it was minimal. So I said, my God, I pay my maid more salary than I invest
Then the
on
amount
myself.
I spend on myself.
Yeah. And then he said, how much of that is on education? 0. And then he said, what is your plan to grow? How do you plan to grow in life? And these questions really, they were very simple questions.
But they stayed back.
They stayed with me. See, I still remember, it's been like 8 years now that I went through that. And I came out of that workshop, and the first thing that I did was to enroll myself for post-graduation in digital marketing.
Okay.
Because at that time I had picked up a job with a firm in Hyderabad to work as a digital marketer. Yeah, and that's where I started investing on myself. And there was no looking back. I invest heavily on myself, on my education. Self-education.
Okay.
So
that certification or the degree, then what was your next move?
So that certification was, it was for me to really, that was a test, right? I tested myself whether I can do this. I spent a lot of money and I tested myself, and because before that, I would hear myself saying, Madhumita, you are a very fickle-minded person. You just pick up things and you leave it halfway through. Okay. But this time, so I said, I'm going to test myself and see if I can really complete the course.
Okay.
I didn't know what I was going to do about that with that course though. There was no plan again, right? But I did the course, I learned a lot and I completed it. I got my certificate and I cheered myself not for getting the certificate.
But just completing it.
Just completing it. That was the goal.
Okay.
Right?
Okay. So again, throwing yourself in the deep end of the pool is sometimes good. You don't know what comes out.
Yes, it is. Absolutely.
Beautiful.
Yeah.
So who did you become because of that phase?
I think that was the beginning of becoming a coach because, pausing taking a pause, staying with the process, trusting the process is something that I learned from there.
And anyway, you said you're not bothered about the voices,
No,
right?
no.
So you will not, the leakages won't happen
No.
anyway, because
Yeah.
it's more internal. You've
Yeah.
decided you'll do it.
Yeah.
Let's say similar situation somebody is in and they want to do this course, but after a proper job, if they take a break here, gap here, they are judged. They might be judged, right?
Yeah, I have been judged many a times. People have told me this is the time for you to invest in your child's education and you are investing on yourself.
And how did you circumvent that? Doesn't matter.
It doesn't matter.
Tell me how to build that muscle when it doesn't matter.
I think you go through a lot and at some time you rough it out so much that you yourself become, for the lack of a better word, your skin becomes thick. Not thick skin, but yeah, you just don't care anymore.
Because those people will not matter in your life anyway.
They won't. Even if those see, there are so again, there are people who just say things just like that. They are not saying it with a serious thought.
Fair
just
enough.
loose talks.
Yeah.
So I think I have reached a stage in life where I don't take them seriously. That does not mean that person does not matter.
Understood.
Person still matters. Their words don't. They don't know better.
Understood. And my philosophy is that you do what you do and people will adjust around you. It takes some time and it's a pinch of salt everybody has to live with.
It's so beautiful what you said. Yeah, people will adjust and that really happens.
It happens.
Yeah.
There's no other choice.
Yeah.
Or you toe the line,
Yeah.
right? If you want to toe the line and just follow multiple lanes in your life, tracks will open up, and we were talking about that, right?
Yeah.
The universe responds to the energies within you.
Yeah.
So by then, I guess your energies were all aligned and you were testing कि ये तो course मैं करूँगी. You finished it.
Yeah.
Gave you the confidence, and after that?
Sometimes people see in you things that you don't see in yourself.
Absolutely.
Right? And you don't take it seriously. I didn't take it seriously either. So a lot of people told me that, you should get into something like training, because in my work also in the corporates, I had done a little bit of training here and there. So I knew I enjoyed that. Whenever I was there in that space, I would enjoy that space. I would love connecting with people, knowing them. I'm very curious about other people. The human library concept really fascinates me. So I said, so people just started telling me all of a sudden that you must get into this now. And then I came across the next course and I couldn't just get into it because...
Just hold on to this.
Yeah.
If you look back, you were saying, I was not connecting with people, I was not opening up and not talking. And now you got into a profession which is all about people.
Yeah.
So the 30 years of life where the account had to be settled, now it's happening through coaching, I believe, right?
Yes.
Because you got into a career which is like complete proximity with
Yes.
another human being.
Yes.
And not only that, it's about their transformation you're part of now.
Yes.
So beautiful.
Yeah, absolutely. So it's not that I was not connecting with people then. I would connect with people, but I wouldn't share. I wouldn't talk.
Understood. And you expect your clients to share.
Yeah. No, but strange enough, people used to share with me.
Understood.
People would share with me, but I would
because
be
you created that space.
Maybe.
You were creating that space.
Yeah, maybe. I have
quiet.
had friends who would just talk to me for hours and I would be quiet through those hours.
And
I'd just listen to them.
And any point of view, any suggestions, any help?
No, I could never give suggestions to anybody right from the start.
But did that affect you when they were offloading?
Yeah, there probably were times where honestly, now that you ask me about it, I think there were times when I thought, I wish I could say something to them. But I didn't know what to say. Because to me, saying anything would mean I am probably judging their situation.
And how will they take it?
Because I knew myself that if anybody comes giving me suggestions, I don't like it.
And this is beautiful, na? Because we, at that age, now obviously wisdom has come. But at that age, you feel like what your universe is, everyone is like you.
Yeah.
Right? What's in my head, everyone is like me. They also think like me. It's not. That's not true.
Yeah.
It's a very diverse world.
Yeah.
Very different kind of people.
Yeah, it is. But what I have realized is it's okay to be trusting.
Okay.
Yeah. And so I have not stopped trusting people. That has not happened with me. I still trust people the way that, I trusted back then. It's just that I have made more space for the diversity within myself, and I am more accepting of my own self,
Okay, so
which is making me feel included.
interesting. Very nice. So
Yeah.
you were not accepting all your parts earlier.
Yeah.
Once you did,
Yeah.
and it brought a change that you started accepting all kind of people outside.
Yes. Yes.
Which they keep saying, right? It's like if you don't connect with someone, is a broken part in you which needs to heal first. And I believe in that a lot.
Totally. Totally. I mean, I can swear by it. Like, I have noticed in my own life, when I shifted my perspective, when I shifted my way of looking at things, right? People around me transformed.
They transformed, or they shapeshifters. Sorry, just kidding.
Yeah.
But yeah,
But
energies were much more aligned then.
yeah. Yeah.
It's
And
amazing, yeah,
it's amazing.
how
Yeah.
it works.
It is. It is.
Okay, so beautiful. Your spiritual journey, your inner transformation, you are becoming more aware. You are accumulating knowledge and educating yourself. You're not listening to the outside noises and their voices, which are not going to govern your life. And some well wishers started coming because your energies were aligned and you heard those voices and they impacted your decisions as well, right? Just take us to the point where you said, okay, coaching here. I want to go into this deep now. I like this.
Yeah. So when training started, I enjoyed connecting with people. So that was the starting point.
Sure.
First training came in, and then I upgraded myself to the trainer, and all of those things. Certifications happened. I did a very small course on coaching, ICF way of coaching, and that's where I found a deep connect, because obviously I didn't like to be told. And I was never the person who would solution for another person. So I felt I was cut out for this, and this was made for me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You
So it
found
was,
your the cast and the mold came together,
yes,
right?
absolutely, the cast and the mold, absolutely.
Absolutely.
And I thought it was waiting for me all these years, and why didn't I find it earlier? But I again think that everything comes at the right time. You need to develop that maturity to really understand what's come your way.
Yeah. This entire thing of not taking others' decision or point of view as the final point of view, I have the same thing.
Yeah.
And I mean, we've been on a very similar spiritual journey and all of that. But for me, science and that sensibility will always come first, right? Like, if it is going to make sense internally to me, then it will come out in action. Even if it is the closest person in my life who will tell me, no, don't do this and do that, I just don't. But it's coming from a very, I can hear that conviction inside. Right? You connected inside, your inner work is sharp, you know where you're heading, you obviously aligned everything to your purpose. Then everything is all else is distraction, right? All the voices are point of views, which is great.
Yeah.
Thank you for the point of view.
Yeah.
But it has to align to my larger goals then.
Yeah. It is true. And, and this also calls for an introspection for me at times. I really catch myself, being defensive also.
Oh, okay.
Right. And so, and this maturity has come with time. It didn't come back then. I always felt what I'm doing is the right thing to do. But is there something to really take a pause and reconsider?
Yeah.
So it's not always bad, is what I've realized.
Yeah.
For somebody to listen to somebody who's more experienced.
Yes. And that's where coaching helps probably.
Yeah.
I mean, that's the unlock which happened for me in coaching is that, I mean, obviously the coach is not biased and they're not family members. So it's great. And second is it's my mind still thinking and it's my mind still making the plans, which is great.
Yeah.
But then I'm allowing someone to enter that space of doing constructive creation of my future. Unlike when people have a point of view, they are like weather forecasts, right? Today there'll be rain shower, tomorrow there'll be a storm.
Yeah.
That's all.
Yeah.
But then what? I mean, if it's going to be a storm, let's work and let's do a deeper work together.
Yeah, absolutely. So, what you're saying is so right. And so, yeah, sure. The best part about coaching is it's a simple conversation, right? Anybody can sit through that conversation without too much of tam-jham, as we say it, right? It's a simple, basic conversation. I allow the space for my client to speak up, speak what's in their mind, without being afraid of anything, without the fear of being judged, right? And I always tell this in my coaching classes also, when I teach coaching.
Yeah.
Before getting a structure into place, the first responsibility of a coach is to be a human being. Be compassionate for the person. Don't let structure overtake that compassion.
Sure.
Right? Because if you do that, then AI will do a better job than you are doing.
Very true. Very true. Yeah.
The kind of questions AI can ask,
yeah,
thought-provoking ones, I mean, we are very small in front of
True
AI.
that,
So
yeah.
many brains have come together to create that AI, right? So being human is something that AI cannot do. It's still a machine. So compassion, I think, is one of the things that is non-negotiable. Sometimes it is intentional also. Maybe you will not feel for it, but at least you tell yourself, you notice what's going on. What's the conversation within? As I'm talking to somebody, what am I talking to myself? Where is the judgment coming that's preventing the compassion from stepping in? Once I put a finger on that and I bring in the compassion, the next thing that comes in is my courage.
That's true.
Right?
Yeah.
Because I may know this person, could be one of my clients I've worked with very long for, and so they hold a very high position in their organization. They call the shots, could be a CXO, any kind of CXO. And so if I challenge what they were doing all this while, right, will they be able to take it in their stride?
Yeah.
Right? And so it's easy for me to teach, but it's so much more difficult when you are sitting across, with that person and you ask that question.
And to be with that person at that point in time.
At that point in time.
And not on an altar or mentor.
How could you have done this differently? That's a tough question to answer, because if I ask that question to a CXO, how could you have done this differently? They would have to reconsider. They may have to say that, okay, within themselves, that, okay, maybe this was not the right way to do it. And to have that self-acceptance is a big deal for some people.
Yeah.
Self-work is not, it just doesn't come overnight or with the snap of a finger.
Yeah.
It comes with a lot of practice.
Especially when you're in a leadership position, because it's always about problem solving.
Yeah.
Or it's about looking at things outside, right?
Yeah.
That's why I'm a leader.
Yeah.
And having been in the corporate for like so many years myself, the urgency sort of takes over, right? The speed and the pace and the urgency sort of puts those blinkers on and tells us that, this is it, we are the best. This is the best decision I could have taken. But what you're saying is that if the same CEO comes in front of you and they have to shed that ego off and say, I am vulnerable and I'm okay to take this step to work on myself.
Yeah.
It's amazing.
Yeah. And
that is what coaching is sort of creating, that space for growth.
And so in coaching also, there is this other thing that we need to do before, we go ahead portraying our courageous self. And so coaching is not about performing, right? We know that. I mean, I don't go there to perform.
Of course, yeah.
Right? I am who I am. And so it requires immense inner work. And that kind of helps the coach also evolve in this journey. So when I ask that question to a leader about what could you have done differently, if I have not built enough of trust in that space, the leader will ask me, what do you mean? And that what do you mean is not because they didn't understand what I asked. It's a defense.
It's a defense.
Right? So are you telling me that I didn't do it right?
Yeah.
So building that trust also, building that right kind of energy into that space it's something that you just can't create, right?
So what pain do successful people hide? besides the vulnerability which you spoke about? But is there anything specific?
Yeah, they're failures. People don't like to talk about failures, right? That they did something wrong. And the failures they don't need to be big, earth shattering failures. They are just little things that probably they said to someone
Hmm.
that they are not very proud of. To accept that also is a big shift, right?
Because then it sort of changes the way you approach the situation next time.
Yeah.
Otherwise, it
does.
would have been an autopilot.
Yeah, it is.
Why do intelligent people stay stuck when they know the enablers are there?
I think, to me, they don't even realize that they are stuck many a times. Okay, they are just functional,
Yeah.
and they think that's the optimum level. There is nothing beyond that. Other people realize that there is something wrong with the person in the way they are functioning, but they themselves don't realize that they are stuck, or they are not. Probably they need to change their modus operandi. Once someone realizes that they are stuck,
Yeah.
okay, the way forward becomes easier. That realization is the first step.
Does it happen before coaching, during coaching, or?
I think I would rephrase that by saying that most of the times they don't realize they are stuck.
So awareness is the problem.
Awareness is the problem.
And they're going along with the flow and with the system, and everything seems like it's okay.
They're functional people. Everything is going on good. They're meeting their numbers. They're getting their incentives. They're growing. Their performance appraisals
But
are
some
fantastic.
distortions have already happened.
Yeah,
which is not visible, obviously.
but they are on this chase, and they are like work-life balance is a classic example. Why does that imbalance happen in the first place?
Yeah.
Right? So when they talk about work-life balance, they come to me and they say, the goal is work-life balance. What's creating the imbalance is my first question. That's when the realization starts happening.
Yeah.
And they say, okay, so imbalance is this and that, and because there are no stipulated work timings, and so I leave work at 10 o'clock in the night, no time for family. What is making you leave work at 10 o'clock in the night? What time would you like to leave? Okay, I am not saying you should leave earlier. I'm just asking them, what time do you want to leave?
Right.
And
so it's literally like you're putting a mirror at every junction and every point and adding a question. Hey, pause, stop, and then reflect on this. While you're going through this, treadmill of life, there is a point where you can go at level 1, take a pause and reflect. Why am I going at this speed? Or it could be just what we were discussing earlier, that maybe the voice is not the person's voice. The voice could be someone else, and they are going at the speed 5 on the treadmill because they heard that voice. They have to fulfill that promise. Nothing to do with them. And I've come across many of clients like this, where just one pause and one question would get that, this wasn't really my voice. And some of I think the clients who are coming back to you, they would have had success stories also. Madhumita, do you want to mention a few?
Yeah, so I had this leader from an organization, and so he came to me and he said, ownership is the biggest problem in my organization. Nobody takes ownership. And this is not just this leader. You see, most of I work with a lot of manufacturing industries, and so most of these leaders have the same problem. People not taking ownership. And I wrote this in one of my posts also, if you've read it. So ownership is why do people not take ownership? Because somebody else is taking the ownership for it.
So the credit is not going to come to them, so they don't take
it? If I don't do, it's getting done.
Okay. Especially in
somebody
the
else is,
in the corporate.
Somebody else is doing it. My boss will do it. My supervisor will do it. My team leader will do it. Right? Now, as a boss, as a leader, what risk are you going to take to develop that ownership in your people? Are you okay with facing the consequences of that work not done? And how many times? Because if you have to leave it to people and tell them that, okay, from now on, you're on your own. Your task is your task. Okay, and you see to it that you follow it through end to end. If it is cross-functional communication, you sow it end to
End
end.
to end.
I am not going to step in and talk to this person and that person and make the journey easier for you. It's your job, your baby, you raise it.
So you're enabling. You're
You're
enabling the
enabling.
team.
If there is some place where you think you can't get out of that place, then you come to me. Otherwise, I am here. And if that person is not able to do that and he fails, are you willing to take that risk? How much of that risk can you take is the question to ask. So we did this with one organization. I worked with them for about a year.
Okay.
Right. And so I won't say there was 100% turnaround, but people really started taking the responsibility, and we did it as a culture change.
Okay.
Right? Because coaching cannot happen in pockets.
Fair enough. Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Because you will coach somebody,
Yeah.
when they go back to the shop floor, things are different.
Yes, because it's the micro and the macro.
Yeah.
They have to work together.
Yeah. It's a top-down approach.
Yeah.
And so since we were working with the culture of the organization, there was a tremendous shift in the way the supervisory level, it percolated down to the supervisory level. Okay. And the way they were functioning, there was a very good feedback about that
Wonderful.
engagement. Yeah.
Wonderful.
Yeah.
You've also authored a book, Madhumita, and you were speaking about some frameworks, some tools which are relevant for coaches. And I see you holding it in your hand right now. Do you want to
Yeah.
talk about it?
Yeah, so this is from Stuck to Sparked. Okay, and so the name itself is about, from the time you feel stuck to. So, what does spark mean? Spark,
What did pain teach you that success never could?
to push myself a little bit more, because progress really depends on how much you can push yourself in that minimal moment. When your body and mind is saying no, yet you do it, you go over and above that and you say, yes, I'm going to do it. That's the one that it teaches you.
Why do people stay stuck in identities they have outgrown?
Yeah, that's a powerful one. Why do people because they have become comfortable being that way. Right? A certain belief system is not working for you, yet you stay with that because that's how you identify yourself.
So it is the false identity or the only
False.
identity which is there in your mind,
Yeah.
and you will be stuck there. But no matter how many more opportunities or cracks open up for you.
Yeah, you just get hung up on things, right? And so you don't want to. There is an inner resistance to really break that. And again, stepping out of comfort zone is something that one finds very challenging.
Sure.
See, one of these techniques, or how I blend it into my coaching, because I don't go out there as an NLP coach, I go out there as an ICF coach, but I do blend in some of my experiences and learnings from NLP. The biggest one, I think, is the ability to reframe a certain situation, right? And also the ability to zoom out.
Okay.
Right? So if me and you are here, and if I was coaching you, and then if I ask you to, move out of there in your mind and look at yourself, and look at me and gauge what's going on over here, that's one way of zooming out. And this gives you a perspective shift.
Sure.
Right? So many a times in corporates also, when I do leadership coaching, I use these techniques. And so if somebody is feeling a little awkward, or they're feeling that somebody is being biased towards them, a simple question like, what do you think they are thinking at this time when they are talking to you like this? Right? What is making them talk to you like that in your mind? What are you thinking about that situation? So a lot of, biased thoughts actually come out in the open, and the coachee then realizes, the client then realizes, maybe that is not true. It's my own mind that is cooking up these.
Beautiful. What are women praised for that later becomes a trap in leadership?
one of the things that I have noticed is you are you are able to you are able to do everything with a smile. Okay, you are able to maintain um, you are able to maintain great relationship with all the functions, with the cross functional teams,
Mm-hmm.
right? In a way, what they are telling them, so there is this it's a beautiful thing. Okay, there is this woman leader I was coaching,
Yeah.
and so sometimes you feel the load of fulfilling a certain narrative that has been created about you, right? And so this lady was the go-to person, okay, for everybody, not
Sure.
just within her team.
Yeah.
Everybody across different teams, they'll have their own managers, but they'll come to this lady.
Okay.
Okay, and she will listen to everyone at the cost of her time.
Okay.
Okay, and so everybody will say, wow, you are the go-to person, you have such a beautiful relationship with everybody, you are the social touch point for our entire
Organization.
not organization, but the entire function.
Okay.
Right? And she felt the load of carrying this forward, and she'll do it at the cost of her work time, and then she'll stay back and finish her work, and she'll go home.
So that identity and the narrative which was given to her by people, she bought
Yeah.
into it, she accepted it,
Yeah.
and she kept feeding it
Yeah.
at the cost of her work.
Yes. Yes.
And she is stretching her time.
She's stretching her time, right? And what she was talking about is the goal of the session was to address the work-life balance,
Okay. Okay.
right? And so but the point is, she came up with such a beautiful solution at the end of the coaching session. She said, you know what I'm doing is I'm taking the entire baggage on my shoulders. Now, as I'm talking to you, I want people to also find their solutions. I want people to have a person to talk to.
Yeah.
So then what I can do is I can go and speak to the other managers, and I can share the load with them.
Fair
And then she said, I can keep half an hour before break, after break, where everybody can talk to their own managers, whoever needed to, and share the load with them.
Sure. So she's
So
empowering
it's a
others
small
now.
way, it's a small way towards culture shift.
Just repeat that. It's a small way.
It's a small change towards culture shift.
Nice.
This is also very, popular in our households. I don't know if you have noticed that, but I have noticed it in my house. When my mother,
Yeah.
okay, would not, voice out what she was going through, or she would take a lot of stress from the relative, she will keep quiet. I have noticed this. Okay, she'll keep quiet, and she will get praised for it. That you are so nice, you're such a quiet person, and you do so much work.
Yeah.
You don't shout, you don't lose your calm.
So that becomes a badge of honor.
Yeah, it's a badge of honor.
And you have to wear
it's-
it every day.
Yeah, and it's pure exploitation. I think it's a strategic exploitation. You make someone feel excellent about being quiet, not calling it out, and suck the juice out of her. I mean, why?
We spoke about the design.
Yeah. That's the design. And so
Yeah.
sad, right?
It is. How do you know life is breaking you or building you?
So I think it's again the inner nudge that you get. If you are a self-aware person, you will know that it's
So your
breaking
conscience.
you. Yeah. So it'll tell you where you're going, and if things are aligned with who you are as a person. If you have the values clarity, you will know when life is breaking you. But if you're not, unfortunately, one will not realize that it's breaking them.
And how can coaching play a role in this?
Coaching can only play a role in this when the person knows that something is wrong. Not exactly what is wrong, but they have to realize that there is something going wrong.
So at the time coaching becomes most effective is when the person is ready
Person is ready.
and they want to change.
Yeah, because see, you know that, right? Being a coach yourself,
Yeah.
a person, when they come for coaching, they may take their, things to do on a big notepad, a decorated one, but they do nothing about it.
Yeah.
The coach cannot shift things, do the work themselves, because, and no change will happen.
If someone feels lost today, what would you tell them in 1 minute to get out of it?
If the person is feeling lost, I will tell them, find an image of the place, where you want to feel found. Okay, what does that place look like for you? And if you have the image of that place, roll up your sleeves, get your hands dirty, and dive in, because there is no other way of finding yourself if you're lost.
Fair. Define unstoppable spirit in one sentence.
So for me, unstoppable spirit is really trying out everything, experiencing everything, and not saying no to it because I'm scared of it. If I'm saying no to it because I don't like it or I don't want to do it, but because I'm scared of it, that's my alarm, and I need to say no. I'm scared. Now I need to dive in.
Okay. Thank you.
Yeah,
Thank you.
Most welcome.
And this brings us to the end. But it seems like you are a very deep thinker, Madhumita. And thanks for sharing what you've shared today. But I'm sure there is a lot more, we could have talked about. And your journey is completely transformative. And you're helping many more to transform in their lives. So
Thank you for having me, Shailja. Thank you so much.
Thanks.